There is one thing I love in shows, and that is when everything falls into place. Here's a warning for you, and everyone else, that this will contain spoilers for The Made in Abyss, a show so amazing that it stopped all videos in their tracks to figure out how to talk about this one. I honestly recommend that you watch this one, Season 1, Movie 3, and Season 2 in that order, as Movie 1 and 2 are just recap movies of Season 1. It has a stellar score by Kevin Penkin, and very amazing character design. Anyway, that being done, I shall start. The Curse of the Abyss. The curse is the cherry on top of the world that contains it. It is part of the incredible world building of Made in Abyss, but it's much more than that. It is the lore of the Abyss. The curse is perfect in that aspect. I mean perfect. It is important for a lot of things and people. It's incredibly terrifying, but it also is the very thing that gives the Abyss its layers. Layer 1, the edge of the Abyss. Ascending here will lead to dizziness and nausea. Layer 2, the Forest of Temptation. Ascending here will lead to vertigo, dizziness, and severe nausea. Layer 3, the Great Fault. Ascending here will lead to all of the above, and visual and auditory hallucinations. Layer 4, the Goblet of Giants. Ascending here will lead to internal hemorrhaging, intense bodily pain, and bleeding from every orifice. Layer 5, the Sea of Corpses. Ascending here will lead to you losing all your senses. I don't know whether it includes all of the above too, but you know. And Layer 6, the Capital of the Unreturned. Ascending here will lead to loss of humanity or death. We learn that ascending isn't the problem when causing the curse, it's where you ascend. The curse is caused by the force field. Damn, I hope that didn't just prove I watched it illegally. Man, no one gives a shit. The curse only afflicts you when you break through the force field, and this allows for certain areas to have no access to the force field, or so little you can't break through. The closer you are to the center, the more access to the force field you have. Like a good author, I have left all the important points here. Make sure you remember, I'm not an author. Where the curse is important is the 6th layer, death or loss of humanity. The first person it is important to is Riko. It shows her resolve. The main point of contention a lot of characters have towards Riko not going into the Abyss is that she won't be able to come back. The only way she sees the people she leaves is if they join her. It shows that she's very willing to go on this adventure, go see her mother. She will die down there. She will spend the rest of her life in the Abyss no matter what happens to her or how long she ends up living. It also shows her hubris. When she learns of the force field and that Reg can go through them, she figures that she will find a way to overcome it. The 6th layer of the Abyss shows everything about this girl. That she's a very determined idiot, someone who is too hopeful for the Abyss. For Nanachi, the 6th layer's curse is ever present on herself. She's a perfect hollow, replicated only once again. Her ties with the Abyss aren't with her character, they're actually her ties. She has Mitty, an almost immortal best friend, who on the day of her mutilation begged for Nanachi to kill her. The 6th layer is one that brings back horrible memories for Nanachi. She not only witnessed horror, but joined in it herself. She killed children, joined in on the horrible test of Bondrewd, and then dipped when it got too much for her and Mitty. For her, it is nothing but pain. It is what caused Mitty to be like that. Apparently this is boring, so let's get on to what I want to talk about. The Curse of the Abyss is so fucking terrifying. Let's talk about what it shows visually. In the mutilating scene with Mitty, the world's worst roller coaster, you can see the force field fights back and physically pushes her down into her design. I'm talking about everyone who isn't a box or these two. They all end up looking squished. A perfect show of the force field. Do you know what's worse? It fucking hurts. No matter what side of the argument you're on, it pains the person. You might turn into a furry god, but it hurts when you're growing all those hairs. Let's hope no one ever turns into a duck. That poor... I'm not fucking reading that. Fuck off. Let's talk about Season 2. All of Season 1 had made me wary of every single slight incline. It basically forces you to when you see what those niggas did to Bondrewd. The show even fucked with me by having a shot that looked like a 5-meter incline, and it was, according to them, level. Bro, I couldn't even look out for that shit. So let me speedrun this because the jokes keep jumping out every time I tried to speak. What does Mitty have legs is the question. Does me? I'll make a jump check. What? What? No. Let me, okay. Fuck it, I'm just gonna read it. Does Mitty have legs is the question I have to ask before I make a jump joke. Why Mitty being the butt of my jokes? Because I have to laugh off the pain. I spelled off and butt wrong. Off and butt wrong. What? Oh my... Is that... It's that or insult Prushka every 5 minutes for getting an upgrade from box status to whistle. She went from being used to make her dad... Fuck. She went from being used to make her dad a furry to being blown by a 12-year-old. Am I allowed to make this joke? I'm not friends with them anymore. What do you get when you have a character that doesn't think they are human anymore, a place that doesn't have the curse of the abyss until like 5 minutes ago, and a flight of stairs? You get a ReZero joke. Yeah, you get a pretty similar result to Pensioner versus Stairs. What am I doing, man? So what makes this a perfect moment in my mind? The entire first season constantly tells you that climbing in the abyss is not a good idea, and season 2 starts off with a different group finding this rule out multiple times. But where Rico's gang lands is a place completely devoid of the curse, and that's where they spend the rest of the season. It didn't fool me though, because it didn't try to. When they blew a hole in the building, I was suddenly fearing for my life, and what makes it better? That piece of information was being passed person to person. So there was someone who didn't know that it was back, and it was only back in certain areas. And the movie helped with this one specifically. You learn to fear stairs. So when you're suddenly in a new scene with a character begging for forgiveness and the first thing you see is stairs, not them, stairs, you fear. They climb, and climb some more, and you feel like it's over. Then they drop. Proven human. Not some demon put away by a child that hates her, but a human. I do not give it its justice. The amount of time to perfectly set up this scene is incredible. Backstories. The rules of the world had to be shut out to lower your guard just enough so that when it came back, it's way too high. The scene was just long enough to make you drop your way too up guard to think that maybe they won't do it, and then admit that you were right. They die here with the rest of them. Letting her live on would have been unfair to her. Her friend died for her, she lost it all a while ago, and her legacy was there. The first modern group to take their last dive, and they died here. She lived on to talk to her greatest regrets youngest sibling. As I said at the start, I love when everything falls into place. It took 2 seasons of build-up, and a whole season of backstory to build up to one scene of a character falling to the curse of the abyss. One that truly shows how scary the curse of the abyss truly is. Where Mitty and Prushka showed how humans can be just as terrifying as the abyss, Vueko showed that the abyss is unmatched in its horror. When everything aligns right, even the abyss can forget its rules. There's only so long that can go on. Il Bleu showed that this is true. Its existence was birthed by the abyss, and its destruction was birthed by the abyss. All this to say is I can't really wait to see where this goes on. I just love writing jokes like this. Apparently, stupid unfunny jokes that might make someone laugh. Mostly myself because I'm sad. It has been a while. Don't worry, I haven't left. I just didn't want to do a video about an update. Funnily enough, you know what, we'll get onto that in a second. We have a couple of things in the works, like a whole new genre. It might take a couple dozen hours, 95 right now, of Persona 4 recordings to get through, about 15 max more hours to get through playthrough-wise. I said I'd do whatever I wanted with this channel, and I am. It's just taken a while. I will have to admit that I have like 60% of a Chunibyo video work in progress, and I'm trying to start... Oh my god, calm down. And I'm trying to start the Bunny Girl video I promised on Josh's channel, but life has gone in the way. Well, until next time, and I've got some Tetris to play. Well, so that was written in 2023. About the 15th? Okay, modified the 16th of Feb. 2023. Did I get that right? I meant 16th of Feb. That's insane. I got it right. Yeah, genuinely I wanted to talk about this scene for a reason. That scene is stuck in my head. Obviously, there is some issues with Made in Abyss as a show. It's right as a pedophile. Yeah, that's the main one. It's creepy towards kids, but Kevin Penkin is the GOAT, and it's genuinely one of the best stories I've ever watched. I haven't touched it in a while because of that. You know how Kwang Shi says ignorance is bliss, and as long as I'm ignorant, of something, then I'll enjoy it. But now that I'm not ignorant of something, then I can't enjoy it. It's different though, because, I went into it not being ignorant, but like, I still listen to R. Kelly. That's great, man. It is so cool to see how far I've come as a creator. Because The Abyss, I don't know what it's actually called, The Curse, in the anime, but I was very adamant to call it The Curse of the Abyss at the time, because I was obsessed. The scene in question, insane. I've been wanting to write it. This will probably be the longest video this month, because up next we've got what I'm working on right now, editing wise, is the remake for a 2021 video. I say remake, it's a remaster. I'm still using the same audio, and I've even got a single clip in there. But I did decide to make the background the same track, but me playing it recently. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week with why you should watch Ghost Stories Remaster. Thank you, Raul QDP, for allowing me to copy your video format. Obviously not recently, we haven't spoken in about 3 years. But, it was great. We actually have spoken through YouTube comment section. I lied. But yeah, I was like, yo, my goat. And he's like, yo, my goat. And yeah, that's all we do. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. As I just said, goodbye.